to recreate an old style computer graphic, if you use mosaic and put it onto this layer, and let's say we increase mosaic to 100 by 100. Now we have a pixelized version of this, but I don't need that for what we're doing because this TV screen is pretty far away. Just a little FYI. So to get Pac-Man to gobble, we use time enabling to remap time. In this case, we can maybe shortcut a little bit. I'll drag Pac-Man over here because I want Pac-Man to go from left to right on the screen. I'll open up position, put my first keyframe here. And let's say I'll go about 2 seconds later, 3 seconds later, just 90 frames. And I'll drag this composition, hold down the shift key to constrain it. Creating this animation. But then it stops. If I go here and press the Option key, and I type in loop out again, this says when you hit the last key, just repeat it, just like before. So answer this, is time remapping essential to the last step that we did to make Pac-Man gobble? Think about it, do an example here and there. What's the advantage and disadvantage is using time remapping? I'm just going to create some static background for the screen. And I'm going to do that by making a new composition, new composition. And I'll leave it at 30 frames. Create a new solid. Add a fractal to it, fractal noise. Scale down the size of the fractal by going under its transformations. And here's maybe where I'll use that mosaic effect. Right now it's not animated. To animate a fractal on the evolution, press the Option key or Alt key if you're on a PC. And use the equation time, T-I-M-E, multiplied by, which is the asterisk, and whatever number you feel is good for the snowy TV set with a little snow, with a semicolon afterwards. Maybe that's way too slow. So I'm going to make my time times 1,000 to make it a little more energetic as snow for a TV set. Next, I'll increase the brightness and contrast. There's a classic snow on a TV set. And then I showed you about mosaic a little earlier. What if I apply mosaic to this? Will give us the effect that we're looking for. Not the animation preset one, but the stylized one. And I need to increase the resolution, let's say 200 by 200. A little more pixelated looking. Maybe I'll do 250 or 300. So if that's the look you want, maybe mosaic is a good idea. I don't think it's necessary for what I'm doing right now. I'll just go with snow without the mosaic look on it. I'm going to rename this composition screen. So back under projects where it's comp2, which doesn't make sense. That makes a little more sense, screen. And on top of this snow, I'll place our Pac-Man, which contains the gobbling Pac-Man right above it, which contains also our animation. I'm going to apply tint to this just to keep that black and white 1980s TV look. So applying tint to Pac-Man now. Why didn't I make a grayscale Pac-Man to begin with? Well, if I want to keep it to real life, applying a tint to it, if I pick the correct yellow for Pac-Man, when it gets tinted, it'll be tinted into the right black and white color space. Or this way I have the option to remove the tint and for this to be a color TV set pretty quickly. So starting with the color assets and then making them black and white seems to be a little more flexible as a workflow. On top of this, I'll apply a curve. This Pac-Man's getting a little lost in the snow of the TV set. And I could drag it down towards a little darker or lighter. I think lighter, this way it stands out. Great. So next step is to take this and apply it to the TV set itself.